The world's greatest geologist is on the verge of his next billion-dollar discovery. With looming shortages in copper, zinc, gold, and silver, this may be the best opportunity hard asset investors have ever faced. Learn more at futuremoneytrends.com/hardassets.
I knew this was coming. There were warnings.
Last week, we reported that the U.S. temporary budget resolution extended the can kicking to December 11th, but we failed to mention the U.S. Treasury's deadline for reaching the so-called debt limit, which is November 6th, less than a month away from today. John Boehner is set to avoid the final turmoil as he is leaving Congress just a week before the deadline. Treasury Secretary Jack Lew says that revenue from tax cattle was less than expected in September, and thus they'll run out of worthless fiat earlier than anticipated, with less than $30 billion in cash expected to remain for government operations by early November.
Republican leaders as well as Democratic leaders say there's no reason for a shutdown.
The Treasury has already been borrowing money from accounts not subject to the debt limit since March 16th, which they even call extraordinary measures. Now there's hundreds of billions more hidden debt than the $18.1 trillion official debt listed. Real fiscal conservatives are demanding actual spending cuts, making it harder for the status quo Republicans to keep digging America into a deeper hole. After the revelations on Planned Parenthood selling baby fetus organs, many are wanting their public funding to be completely shut off. The Highway Trust Fund budget expiration October 29th means that there's 3 key dates within the next 2 months that potential government shutdowns can occur. Remember, President Obama said he won't sign another short-term spending bill.
I will not sign another short-sighted, short-term spending bill like the one Congress sent me this week.
But does that mean he'll let the government shut down if Congress passes another short-term can-kicking piece of legislation? Major news states that a shutdown would only mean 15 to 20% of government workers would not receive pay. In silver news, the U.S. Mint did increase their dealer allotment of Silver Eagles above $1 million for the week. We saw silver break $16 this week. In the monthly chart, you can see silver's severe spike up $1.50. Now we're all wondering if this is the start of the new bull market rally, like David Morgan predicted would come after September, that could leave silver to $26 by year's end. With more signs showing the U.S. and its dollar-kicking world hegemony, this becoming a reality is even more likely with the dollar index dropping below 95 again on Friday. Silver Doctors expects January 2016 to be a record month for Silver Eagle sales from the U.S. Mint. For an in-depth examination of the current silver market, see our recent Steve St. Angelo interview where he thinks a physical shortage will destroy the current paper price manipulation within 1 year from now, and that a dollar collapse will happen in a short span of 1 to 2 years. The Trans-Pacific Partnership deal negotiations are now completed. This encompasses 40% of the global economy, with potentially drastic changes in trade and copyrights and affecting every individual's life in America if you believe the conspiracy theories which say this is a major step towards a corporate global government takeover.
12 countries of the Pacific Rim region have reached an agreement on the Trans-Pacific Partnership, or TPP as it's called. In effect, it's a free trade deal that's expected to cover 400 million people and 40% of the global economy.
There are 600 corporate representatives participating in these closed-door negotiations. Obviously, these representatives are looking after their employers' interests, not ours. Though the public doesn't have access to the full text of this agreement, the contents of leaked drafts make it pretty obvious why this is being pushed through in such a sneaky way. Now, you might have heard some people focus on the probability that the TPP will cause the U.S. economy to lose jobs, much like NAFTA did, only worse. Though this concern may be valid, it's hardly the most dangerous part of the agreement. The real danger lies in the way that this agreement subverts the sovereignty of nations. The TPP would create a system of shadowy trade tribunals which would allow companies to override and nullify laws in any member country.
The oil price has significantly recovered from last week, up $5 to near $50 for WTI. This could be just a bull trap, as Iran is set to increase production from 500,000 to 1 million barrels per day once sanctions are lifted in early to mid-2016. Possibly putting a wrench in these plans happened Friday, with several U.S. officials stating the Iran deal violates federal law. Alternative market analyst Jim Willey expects another $10 drop in oil coming soon. The story is yet to be told if further oil price drops will destroy U.S. shale and oil derivatives, or what John Kerry mentioned, a failed Iran deal would be the nail in the coffin for the U.S. dollar. Also potentially quickening the death of King Dollar is Bitcoin progressing into the mainstream. This week, the online Bitcoin exchange led by the Winklevoss twins was just approved by the NYDFS. It can now begin serving customers in 26 states and Washington, D.C. It competes with already existing U.S. Bitcoin exchanges Coinbase and Itbit. We're still waiting on the twins' Bitcoin ETF, though. The price of Bitcoin reflected the good news by gaining 3% for the week to rise to about $244 by Friday. If you're curious about altcoin Litecoin, it's still struggling at roughly $3. Recall that we have by early next year for the Bitcoin or Bitcoin XT software debate to reach resolutions, which will hold back the price and cause potential volatility in the coming months. Watch August 21st's ECN for more details on the issue. U.S. stocks had a good week, with the Dow gaining 582 points, or 3.5%, to break above 17,000. Even though the Wall Street Journal reports a customer data breach leaked 3,500 individuals' accounts info at the Dow Jones.